welcome to the latest edition of our practical cooking videos. I've been looking to see who's been doing what, and it's nice to see a few of you that are using the recipes and cooking for your family. The macaroni cheese and the apple granola muffins. So this is the third week of recipes. Following on from our theory class on Wednesday, which is all about food waste. Next Wednesday, 29th of April, is International Stop Food Waste Day. Okay, so in that spirit, what I'm going to try and do is make a couple of recipes this week and next week that use up any leftover things that you've got laying around. You haven't got to go out and buy specific ingredients. You can tweak this recipe. Okay, we're making tasty vegetable fritters. Now, a fritter is basically a fried pancake, if you like, but a savoury pancake. And I'll talk you through the ingredients, and then we'll talk about how we're going to make them. Okay, we've got 400 grams, and this is for 4 people, all right? As a nice lunch or to accompany something else that you're having, like meat or whatever, a fish, you can have these on the side instead of potatoes or pasta or rice. We've got 400 grams of various grated veg, all right? I've used some celeriac, some courgette, zucchini, some potato, some onion, and some frozen petit pois, peas. And I've just grated them up, and then as per the method, I've squeezed out as much as I can any moisture from or water in those vegetables so that you don't get your batter too soggy, okay? And then that's all I've done. I've got about 50 grams, a couple of tablespoonfuls of cheese. I've got some Emmental and some Parmesan. It's got a nice salty savoury taste. I've got 1 cup or 4 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour. Now, if you haven't got self-raising flour, that's fine, but you need a bit of a raising agent, so you can use plain flour, and then you can add 1 teaspoon of baking powder to that, okay? There's your self-raising flour. You need 1 large egg, but I've got these teeny tiny ones that I got from the farm just down the road, so I'm going to put 2 in. You need a little bit of wetness and help raising agent as well. And then you need your spices and your seasoning, okay? Maximum flavour out of this. We've got to add as much seasoning as we can, and this is where you can get creative. I've got some teaspoon of oregano, teaspoon of dried thyme. I've got ½ a teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. I've got a teaspoon of paprika, and I've got a teaspoon of cumin, so lots of spice, and ½ a teaspoon each of salt and pepper. All that's going to go into the mix. And then you want some oil for frying. This is a super quick recipe. I'm doing it now so that I can get this ready for lunch, so we can eat what we made, which is what cooking's all about. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get the heat on. I'm going to get that pan heating up. You want the pan fairly hot, then we'll turn down the heat when we cook the fritters so that we don't burn them. Okay, now we've got our grated vegetables here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight in with the spices, the cheese, just get all of that out of there, and I'm going to go in with my flour. I'm going to give that a stir, first of all, with my spatula, just to mix that together before I add the wet ingredient, which is obviously the egg. Now what I'll do is when that's combined and all mixed together, I'll make a little well in the middle, break my eggs into it. So egg in, 1 egg, 2 eggs. Now what we do then is fold that around. Now because my eggs are so small, I might need a little bit of extra liquid. If we were making pancakes, which is a very similar mix, for a cup of flour we would use a cup of milk. Now there's going to be a bit of moisture in those vegetables still, but there was nowhere near a cup of moisture in those eggs. They're so small. So what I might do, and you can do this too if you want, if you need extra moisture, you can add a splash of milk, okay? Or in hindsight, I could have left a little bit of moisture in the vegetables, but you never know how wet they're going to be once they all get together. And as soon as that salt hits the vegetables as well, the salt will serve to draw out any moisture that's left in those vegetables. So you might end up with a bit of a soggy mix. You don't want that. Now that's a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit of milk to mine. Just add it in. And then get that mixed together. Now you can have a consistency that looks like a bread dough, where it's all bound together but there's not a huge amount of moisture. Or you can have it runnier so it looks more like a pancake batter. It really doesn't matter, because all you're going to do is you're going to spoon the mixture into the pan. Now my pan's getting nice and warm, I can smell the oil starting to heat up, so I'm almost ready to go in. So I've got my mixture here. I'm going to use a tablespoon, but you could use a bigger spoon if you want bigger fritters. And in my size pan, I'll probably get 3 or 4 fritters in at one time. I don't want to overload the pan, because if you overload the pan, obviously you cool the temperature down and it won't cook as well. So what I'm going to do is get my tablespoon and just spoon that mixture in. You can use fingers as well, it's absolutely fine. So I'll get a nice heaped spoonful like this, and when I put it in, I'm going to flatten it down as well a little bit, because a fritter is generally flat, not kind of raised like that, okay? So we're going to go in, bring this over, one in there, and flatten that down. Get 2 in. You can shape them if you want a little bit more as well, so they're a nice round shape. When I made this last time for my kids, I served it with a fried egg on top, which was nice and tasty. So I thought of the round shape of the egg, so it just fits perfectly on top. If you want to be a real foodie and get this really, really accurate, what you can do is use egg rings or food moulds. You can shape it inside there so you get a perfect round. If you want to do it kind of fancy for a nice dinner or something. But as a lunch, as a snack, these are delicious. Okay, so I'm going to keep my spatula to scrape out the rest of my bowl. I've got 4 in there at the moment. I'm going to cook them through, and they're just starting to sizzle. So I'm going to leave them there for a second. Now what you do is, if you've got a runnier mixture where you've got liquid around, you'll see it start to form like a pancake, if you cooked pancakes before, and you notice around the edge it starts to cook first, and eventually you get little bubbles appearing in the top. Now that means that the bottom's starting to cook and you're ready to flip. And you go in really confidently with your spatula underneath, flip it over, and it should be starting to get a nice golden colour. And then you can wait for about another minute and it will just cook through the rest of the fritter. And then you can take them out. You can keep them in a warm oven if you like. You can put the oven on at about 100 degrees, put them into a pan, keep them warm until you're ready to eat, so until they're all done. If you've got a firmer mixture like me, okay, very, very simple. All you have to do is just wait until you see them forming around the edge, and you'll smell them starting to cook. You can smell the vegetables starting to cook. It smells pretty good. And then you just flip them, and if they're not golden, it's okay, you leave it for a minute or 2, and then you flip them again. And when you've got a nice golden colour, because you do have to cook the vegetables through, even though they're really small parts of vegetable, you have to cook them through. When you think they're cooked, put them in the oven and do the next batch. It's really simple. I'm going to cook the rest of these now. What I'll do is I will post a picture as well, so you can see them, the finished article, you can see them done, okay? And maybe a serving suggestion as well of how you can eat them. Give them a go. Mix up the vegetables. You can put carrots in there, you can put all sorts of vegetables, whatever you've got laying around in your vegetable drawer, salad drawer, or in your fridge, okay? You could chop up some chorizo and put those in there, that'd be really tasty. You can change the spice and you can put some chili in, you could put curry powder, turn them into like a bhaji. Get creative, get cooking, and send me pictures please, because I'm always interested in what you guys are cooking, all right? Best of luck, and I'll speak to you soon. Next week I'll post another picture and another recipe of a frittata, which is similar but a bigger egg and potato based dish, okay? Take care.